In pharmacy, there's something they call label, and also in English. If I make a drug and I put the drug in the bottle, I use the pharmaceutical process to manufacture it using the book they call the pharmacopoeia, which is a book of standards. Every drug you make has standard. They will say you use 100 milligram of paracetamol, you add lactose or you add whatever excipient. Forgive me for the language I'm bringing up. However, you follow the standard and you make a drug, and when you make the syrup in a bottle, you now place a label on it and you put the paper, which is the label. I'm sure we have seen it before. When you buy a syrup in a bottle, you see a label. They put a label and they write the name of the drug. They label it. The label identifies the drug that is in the bottle. However, there are instances when we are doing something in school they call dispensing. It's a course that you do under pressure. They give you limited time. They give you drugs to produce. You are under pressure. At times when we are doing it, we now make mistake and we put the wrong label on the bottle. So imagine there are some drugs that are for external use. They must never be ingested into your stomach. Imagine I'm under pressure and I now put a drug that is for external use that you're supposed to rub on your body as cream. I now put a wrong label that you can drink it 5 teaspoons 4 times in a day. Now there's a crisis. The identity of the drug is different from the label on the drug. A lot of us are children of God. That's where we are. We accepted a label that was placed on us by our circumstance, by our environment, by our country, that does not tally with the identity of who God has made us. So because the label is there, because you allowed the label now overshadowed your identity. So we lost identity and we ran into an identity crisis. Like I said, it started from the beginning. We saw Genesis 1:26 where God defined our identity. Let's see where man lost his identity. The man that God made in his own image and in his own likeness to fellowship with him, because him and God were of the same material. Suddenly he saw God coming, he started running to hide. His identity had changed. But you and I know that when Christ came to correct that issue with our identity. Unfortunately, when we become born again and we have entered into the great house, we still allow the label of our former identity to still be rubbing off on us, and we are behaving contrary to who we are because we don't really understand who we are. Any man that truly understands his identity, we know what he ought to do and what he should not do. Praise the Lord. If you carry an eagle and carry dead meat and feed the eagle will not eat because it knows it's not a vulture. If an eagle begins to eat dead meat, that eagle doesn't know his identity. That eagle is as good as a vulture. So if you are a believer and you are feeding the food of vultures, praise the Lord. I did not call you anything. Praise the Lord. I didn't call you any name.